How about you guys want to do the intro this time?
You better do it because I always screw it up.
How do we do the intro?
What we do is he's a total professional and does the intro, and then I forget who I am.
And my co-hosts are oh shoot, I wrote it down somewhere. Oh yeah,
these two.
these guys.
It falls out of our chair.
All right.
Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the next episode of the Saturday Morning Beefcast. Today, we're going to be talking about episode 7 of Thundarr the Barbarian, Brotherhood of Night. We are halfway through season 1. Woo-hoo! I can't believe
we've actually done something.
It feels like, yeah, we're actually making progress. Like we've done some side episodes and, taking a couple breaks here or there. So I feel like we should be further along. But yeah, we are halfway through season 1. My name is Jay with Retro Pop Gaming, and my co-hosts are
Aric and Laschita Whalen from Super Secret Project X.
Morning.
Good morning. Top of the morning to you. So this episode, as soon as I started watching it, I knew it was going to be a quote unquote banger. It's just, I was so excited for this. We are finally, and we'll get to it, but we are finally getting some creatures I've been really looking forward to that have been teased. They're teased in the intro to the show. I believe there's a quick cut of these. So we will definitely be getting into that.
This one is definitely on my list. If they ever did a Thundarr the Barbarian movie, this is one of the stories where I go like, this one hits like all the points. It's not like like Mindok is one of my all-time favorite ones, but this one is so good.
Oh, so good.
The list of wackiness on this one is just really solid.
It's I got a bunch of notes and I was just really excited to talk about this one. Of course, it starts out. My favorite is just they're doing their shtick. They're riding their horses through the woods again, like normal. Let's jump over something, yada yada. We're it's time to save some people, so that's always fun. We hear some people screaming and yelling for help, and of course they jump into action. Werewolves!
I know.
We have werewolves. I'm so excited.
We pass by the stone head of Lincoln.
Oh yes.
And a please no rollerblading sign sitting in front of, I believe that's the White House.
Roller skating weren't invented yet.
Oh, did I say rollerblading?
Yeah,
I'm sorry, child of the 90s, roller skating.
Some roller something. I'm not. It's something that's blocked out. It's something OL something.
Oh yeah, please no roller. Yeah, that's funny
because that was coming up. That was roller skating was a big thing back in during that time period. So
heck yeah, and yeah, this episode does take place at the Capitol.
Yeah.
So we've got some great monuments in the background, some great landmarks and buildings and stuff. That's really fun.
And what I love is we get to the Capitol building, and there's palm trees growing around it. It's Washington, D.C. in a tropical jungle.
I just imagine hurricanes have just like mixed all of our ecosystem just into one big. The entire planet's either a jungle or desert.
Oh, so
well, it's like how we said in the last episode when they were in the Grand Canyon or so, and all the water was like coming up around the area, and it's like my theory is that. Yeah, because the moon is all jacked up, it got split and broken, it's messed up the tides, it's messed up everything. So the entire ecosystem of the world is just screwed at this point.
Oh yeah, when they were at Mount Rushmore, and it looked like they were by the ocean. It's like, that's not right.
Yeah, what is it? The moon is all like nearly is like broken in half. So it's like the moon and all the tides are completely screwed up now. So
right. So we get to these werewolves, and my favorite part about this is like normally werewolves bite people or scratch people to turn them into werewolves. And totally makes sense. Okay, you're transmitting something to them.
Sure.
But I just love that the head werewolf guy he's got this, he gets his claw out and it just starts glowing, and it just turns people into sexy werewolves.
Thank you.
I'm not the only one. Thank you. That's so good.
No, it's like he chases down people, and the first one he goes after is like the perfect example of 70s hot.
She's like pseudo Scottish. And so
yeah, but she's got like the 70s huge hair.
Oh yeah.
And she's all ridiculously smoking hot, and she's doing like
she's damsel in distress.
In distress run with the werewolf coming after. And what I love is last night I was going like, honey, is she 70s hot? She's like, oh, that's pretty. And then the magic hand comes in and turns her into a werewolf, and I go, she's still kind of hot.
I think she got even hotter after that. It's like she had the Farrah Fawcett thing going on, and just like, and I just love that she was like looking at the camera the whole time too, just like, what's gonna happen? And then poof, I was just like, that is beautiful. That was a great shot. I love that.
Now his line was something along the lines of, "With my claws, we changed." And I'm like, okay, so he didn't. Even though he's like with my claws, but he didn't like claw her or anything. And of course, standards of practices, cartoons, you can't show what actually happens and all. But yeah, it's like werewolf pimp hand or something. Yeah.
Well, now, and the thing is you're right. It's clearly they didn't want to scare the kids. It's why suction cup arrows.
Yeah.
You can't make this too violent because it already is pretty violent.
Yeah.
But since it's Thundarr, the fact that it's a werewolf with like werewolf glowing radiation powers.
Yes.
I'm kind of good with it, actually.
That's fine. I mean, everything that's going on is very magical. Like, no matter, like, what episode we watch, there's always been some kind of mystical thing going on. So, of course, these werewolves are going to be, a little bit on the magical side, which is it's par for the course. That's all I gotta say.
Which, in a sense, not to jump too far ahead, but we kind of get a slight answer in the end of the magic stuff, which then makes more questions along that side. But jump too far ahead. But magical werewolf pimp hand.
I want a prequel episode to our main werewolf guy. Like later in the series.
Well, he tags Fawcett, so she's all wolfy, and then the other wolves are going after the other Washington, D.C. residents. And Thundarr comes in and jumps off his horse and tackles a dude, and Ukla suction cup arrows a dude, and a lot of were-tussling starts going on. And, decent Thundarr action, not great stuff, but it's like good warm-up. Soft pro wrestling action stuff going on here. So
yeah, well, our main werewolf guy, I think his name is Zevon. I just love his outfit because he's got this great cape on. But the one thing I was very curious about is it looked like he had some kind of like straw hat-ish kind of without a brim on his head. And I'm like, okay,
I have a theory. I have a theory of what that is.
I don't know what's going on here.
I think it's a toupee.
That's what I was saying, because when he turns back into a human a little bit later, it's still there, and it looks so bad.
That's what I'm saying is, I think it's a Thundarr thing where everyone's like kind of got like crazy costuming on, but then there's something really strange. And I think this one, they were doing a meeting and they're like, dude, he looks too awesome. He looks too kind of like, we need to give him something strange. And somebody goes, why doesn't he wear a toupee for a hat? Because if you look at it, there's shots where it looks like it's got like hair coming down. It looks like he's wearing like...
Yes.
And nobody in the audience, I'm not starting anything, but my first thought was it looks like Trump's toupee. Right?
It does. That's the only thing I can think of while I was watching that. I'm like, he's got a toupee for some weird reason, because it does not look like a hat.
I'm going to be the most fabulous werewolf. And I'm going to be the best werewolf because there's no other werewolves just like me.
There's no other werewolf just like me.
It's awesome. All right. Now, when I was a kid, there were two things that kind of scarred me. One of which was in Super Friends, weirdly enough.
Yeah.
And the other one was here. And the Super Friends one was where Superman becomes a Dracula.
Oh.
And one of the vampires gets him, and we had a vampiric Superman. He joined the villains.
Ooh, I like that.
I know it's pretty good. I mean, it's Super Friends, so it's not like the
right.
Super good.
It's friendly.
but you're going like vampiric Superman, and he's a villain. I mean, that's pretty terrifying. But this is where the episode has this really great twist that you don't see much in any other Thundarr episodes. Thundarr gets tagged by one of the werewolves.
I know. Oh my gosh.
And we're getting there. We're super close. We're super close. Is anything happens in between then?
Not quite there yet. I know they take chase after the werewolves that attack the humans, and because the werewolves take off, and they're like, well, let's go after them. Well, the werewolves end up turning human before they get to their village, and then Thundarr and the team get to that village and think that, oh, well, let's just rest here with these quote unquote humans, for the night. And it's like, you do know that guy's wearing the same clothes as the werewolf that you just fought, right?
Yeah. When it was so like, I'm like, wait, do you not notice this? But then again, it's Thundarr. We haven't gotten there yet. Was like he outsmarted the.
I'm sorry, I am looking at the main villain in human form, and I am certain that's a toupee.
It's supposed to be like the peasant kind of straw hat.
I disagree. That is a toupee.
It's got the swoosh and everything.
If you look at everybody who's there, they're all dressed in like different types of clothing from different types of nations. Like he's dressed almost like Romanesque peasant. There's an Aztec lady. There's a dude that's dressed almost like kind of like a peasant Swede in a sense. There's this like Scottish hot werewolf MILF.
A wilf. WILF. Wilf.
A werewolf. A wolf. I'd like to cross it. I can't believe I went right to the werewolf thing. I got so excited. Okay. One of the great things that's in Thundarr, and I love the creatures in this, is he doesn't know they're werewolves. He's in the werewolf village on Pennsylvania Avenue. They actually went right by a sign. It's on Pennsylvania Avenue.
Absolutely.
And they get attacked by a fiery earthworm.
Oh my god. I was like, where's this giant flaming hot dog coming from? This is crazy.
And is it not one of the most like ridiculous creatures you've ever seen?
It's so simple. It's just like, I don't know like who came up with that, because it's puking lava and melting houses.
And it's on fire.
And it's a giant hot dog. And it's like, what is going on? Like, I don't know how you go from werewolves to this. Like, where's the transition here?
Oh, dude, they were like probably high as crap sitting there thinking of this stuff. And I mean, they're like,
they always are.
Like, let's make a giant creature, like a giant earthworm that digs through. Dude, let's set the earthworm on fire.
And then you heard in the background, you just heard, dude, it should also puke lava.
Sounds good. Sounds good to me, man.
Bubbling up the bong water.
I know. It's like I'm not. It's like it was the 70s and 80s when this was made. I mean, you could just clearly see just a bunch of like 70s dudes just sitting around in a non-air conditioned room filled with smoke, and somebody going like, what can we do to an earthworm to make it really Thundarrific?
Oh, and I would love to be in that pitch meeting, because like I said, like this worm is just, there's no indications it's like an earthworm. There's no rings around it or that big puffy part that's usually in the middle of like an earthworm. It's just legit smooth, like all the way around, and it's on fire.
I'm sorry, I just paused it on my end here. This is one of the most 80s shots ever.
Well, everything about the show is so 80s.
They were when the werewolves were running back to their village to step back.
It's the most 80s sunrise.
Yeah, the sun is rising, and there's like a palm tree in the foreground. The sun is rising behind a giant crevice, and I'm like, this is one of the most 80s, and I can like hear the Miami Vice music playing when I'm looking. It's pretty darn sweet. So I just had I'm like, that's a pretty good shot. And then they all change back, and then of course I paused it because I had to laugh at this particular shot. The dude has nails through his gloves.
Oh, they all have. They all have.
His fingernails are showing through his gloves. Sorry. Okay.
Yeah, we are.
I'm looking at that. I'm looking at that shot you're just talking about right now, and that needs to be on a Trapper Keeper.
I know, right?
I can see that on a Trapper Keeper.
I know.
Oh man! So they're trying to fight this flaming worm, and nothing seems to hurt it. But then Thundarr, and another one of his rare fits of brilliance, lures it to a bridge and destroys the bridge and lets it fall into the water.
Well, what I love is what he said. He's like, he basically said I'm going to win because you're dumber than me. But that's basically what he said. He's like, you're so stupid, I can outsmart you. Which was actually really funny because he's usually a dumb knuckle, but when he's smart, it's smart in like a really practical way. And he just looked at a giant fiery worm and went, I'm walking over onto the wooden bridge and getting him to chase me over the river. And then the worm follows him and he just hacks a hole in the bridge. And he's like, you dummy! And then the worm into the water.
He just puts his thumb on his nose and just does one of these things. Near.
I want to see Thundarr do neener.
Turns around, just shakes his butt at it, and it just killed it. It just dies right there, and then we get like Ming the Merciless flying in. It's just so Flash Gordon. This guy comes in on this little sky sled, and it's Infernus, another great wizard, and he's got a great design. He's got like
Daft Punk
shield, Daft Punk, yeah. He's got this great shield helmet on and another cape. He's got a little wand, and I just love this design. So it's so good.
Yeah, it was pretty sweet because I was just like, Daft Punk meets Zevo, or like or trying to do a Devo. I was just like, wait, what the heck, man? Like,
I just love, and I know it's the time period, but I just love this time period where the first thought that everyone did was, every dude is wearing short, basically women's underwear, and like almost swashbuckly boots, almost.
Yeah.
And so it's like you just look at it, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the look exactly, because there was clearly something in the water in the 70s and 80s for comic books and stuff.
Yeah.
Because they did this. But he's got like a cape, and like he's showing off his legs, and he's got the helmet, and I just keep going like, why do they keep showing these dudes' legs off? I mean, I'm not against it. It's like, whatever. But it seems like a weird choice, right? Is it that they have so much magical power that they're like, I can be a little fancy. Out these gams. I'm a wizard.
That's when I step in. I have to do my comic book nerd thing of them going back to the traditional strongman outfit of the trunks and stuff, and the wrestling in a sense. And so that became kind of like the trope for the superhero, which then spread itself throughout the next 40, 50 years after that. So
that, and some of like the Marvel and DC guys were hired for some of these shows to do design work and stuff.
Yeah.
Which is why Thundarr's wearing like the bear undies and stuff. I mean, I'm good with it. It's just that with some of the costumes, it sort of works.
Yeah.
And with some of the costumes, you're like, I feel like he's wanting me to look at his legs. Like some of them you don't think about it, and some of them you're like, it feels like a fashion kind of decision going on. You're not just sort of like, it's too hot, I'm going to wear undies.
He puts his
menu legs. What's on the menu? Legs.
He puts his time in on leg day. He wants to show off his progress. Maybe he was a little chunkier of a wizard back in the day, and he's proud of the work he's put in. He wants to show that off.
To be fair, like, I'm not judging. I'm not saying right or wrong. I'm not saying people can't go like, Infernus is looking good today. I'm not saying that you can't. I'm just going like sometimes the costumes it looks a little weird with like the leg look. It's all I'm saying.
Right.
Makes you want to climb those legs like a native boy scurrying for coconuts.
So we find out that flaming worm was actually from Infernus, this wizard, and for whatever reason he, sent him to attack that the village of werewolf humans, and then we find out that the werewolves want to capture Infernus.
Actually, a good plot point.
Yeah, they're like, okay, this guy is really strong. He's a wizard. So if we bring him into our werewolf fold, we will be unstoppable. Yes.
Add him to the pack.
Right. Yes, the pack.
You see that ice cream man over there? I want frosty treats. Add
all
him
the time.
To the pack.
Add him to the pack. Oh, and they're still human at this time.
Yep.
So Zivan, the leader of the werewolves, goes to Thundarr, unbeknownst that these are the werewolves, and says, "Hey, will you help us go capture this wizard?" And then that furthers our our plot here. I just can't believe that he's wearing the same clothes, the exact same clothes. It's like, how could you not? I don't know.
You would have thought at least like Ariel would have noticed that,
He's really proud of that unbelievable scarf and toupee. The combination of the two, he don't want to give it up. He's like, I don't care if they realize that I'm the werewolf guy and that human guy. Which Thundarr, let's give Thundarr a round of applause. He used his brain. He was like, it's that dude.
It's that dude.
It's like how we said with last episode. Maybe Thundarr is like he's nearsighted, so he can't really tell the difference and stuff. And that's
that's right. Is that hair? Is it a hat? Is it I can't tell the difference.
That guy doesn't look the same as the werewolf. He's not. I don't know if the clothing is the same. I can't really see him. He's kind of blurry.
He's not attacking me, so he must be a nice guy.
I finally know what Ukla is about in the background. He just keeps going to Ariel like it's a toupee, right? I'm not the only one here.
Just love
it. And then Thundarr turns around and goes, it's a straw hat. Oh,
it's just a hat. What are you talking about? So so they go and they get on their horses and they ride after to go find Infernus, and it becomes nighttime. And instead of Zivan waiting to get there, like, I don't know why they would travel at night, because they wanted to use Thundarr's strength and power to take down the wizard.
Yeah.
But then they just end up attacking them in the middle of the night because they decided to go there like in the middle of the night. Of course, they turn back into werewolves. Not the brightest idea.
Attack, and if they can get, like, they later on they do their thing and they add them to the pack. So maybe that was their initial plan, is okay, we can add these guys on while we're going to get the bad guy. That's going to strengthen our numbers,
Yeah.
And maybe they were just like, hey, let's think ahead of this, and while it's nighttime, we can take them out. Or
maybe they realized that Thundarr and the Thundarr friends were going to try to stop them, and so they knew that they were going to be on the way anyway.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's a bunch of ways of reading this, but I see your point.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, we'd have to make this episode much longer if we were doing this whole, like, Thundarr being like, they're werewolves! And then Ariel was like, maybe we shouldn't travel at night, Thundarr. And then they all get themselves into a fortification at night where they fight the werewolves off, and then they move towards Infernus in the day where, they can whoop the humans because they're humans.
Right.
We're just going to skip over the bit of logic that would have made this episode much longer.
Now, I don't know if you guys caught this, but at about 8 minutes and 9 seconds into the episode, as Zivan jumps and attacks Thundarr, Ariel's on her horse and she turns around to look. and her leg is doing something that is anatomically impossible. No matter what cartoon character you are.
Well, the entire set, because look at how her horse is standing, and it's just whoever did this, they're just like, you know what, screw it, just make her turn around, because the horse is not even. First of all, the horse is not even drawn in perspective.
No, where's the head? The head, unless it's like, oh my gosh.
Well, the head is down and it's completely stretched out, because you see like one little like poof of mane right towards the bottom there. So the horse's head is completely stretched out and off the camera.
Okay. Yep.
And then she's just, and I think they just said, you know what, we've got this far, we're going to commit. It's only going to be for like
a second,
2 or 3 seconds of view time. Well, not in the budget.
Well, what I'm saying here is, and I realize this is an audio podcast, so for the viewers at home, please imagine. What I'm seeing here is I'm covering up her leg that's doing the wrong thing.
Oh, yeah.
And it looks like she's completely sitting properly, blah, blah, blah. And I think what happened was one of the animators was like, all right, she turns around, blah, blah, blah. And one of the other guys goes, you realize her other leg should be there, right? And he's like, oh, all right, leg. You know? And so the whole leg is then broken off at like a wrong 90-degree angle.
It's like 2 people were working on this just this scene here, and the other person didn't get the memo of what was going on.
Like, dude, horses are hard to draw, man. You're not drawing the horse, you're drawing the leg. Dude, legs are hard to draw, man.
Oh my gosh, so good. And then so at this time, Thundarr's getting attacked by a werewolf, and the time has come for his catchphrase to finally just hit that sweet spot, man. Demon dogs. Exactly. Exactly. I love it.
All right. So after he tussles with Wolf Leader 1, we go over to Ariel on her horse, and a couple of werewolves come up, and I like this because, again, Ariel is OP. She just kind of goes, oh, the horse, and she not even, like, zero effort. There's a shot where she just turns to one and just goes, wank, and then takes this one dude out, and then she looks at the other one, and what's great is she looks down like she's looking at a slightly angry child with a little smile like, no.
No.
Wank. That guy goes down.
Yep.
If you notice,
she's just like, no. Pew, pew.
In the beginning, when they were first fighting the werewolves, she did that, and she hit one right up the butt. Like, she was standing up on one of the air, like one of the top areas, trying to get like the high view, and she's just like popping like right up the button, just completely just knocks him down. I'm just like, dude, he's not gonna be pooping straight for like months now, poor dude.
He's like be sitting down forever.
He's a bad dude, but he didn't deserve that.
No.
All right. I must point this out because these are my favorite Ookla maneuvers.
Oh, okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Ookla, there's this great shot. Ookla rides into the middle of the screen.
Yes. Before you get there, I just love that it's like a POV angle, like from behind him. So it's like you're almost like you are Ookla. Okay, go ahead.
It's like you're playing a third person player.
Yeah, it's such a great angle.
Ookla clubbing werewolves with another werewolf, and he has this poor dude by the ankle. And he's just like whipping dude with this dude.
I love it. Oh my gosh! And I mean, and he didn't, because there's like 5 guys there, and he rides up, and he's already, I think he already has one in his. Yeah, he already had one in his hand. Just swinging.
Yeah, he rides up with the dude already swinging, and it's like, it's funny because watching the series from the beginning, I never noticed how many times he uses that move, just taking people and beating other folks with folks. And it's one of the funniest things in the world.
Ever since the first time we saw that happen, I can't remember which episode it was going, but ever since then, it seems like every episode, he's just beating dudes with other dudes. Like, it's just like his shtick now.
I'm the dude that takes dudes and beats them with other dudes.
Well, see, to me, I think they figured out the problem with super strong characters that don't do much else. Is, okay, fine, you're strong, you pick stuff up, blah, blah, blah. But if you don't do interesting stuff with that strength, Ariel can do crazy stuff. Thundarr can do crazy stuff because he's not specifically just strong. He's an action guy. But Ookla,
right.
He's kind of just, that's his thing. He's a big, strong beast character.
Yeah.
But they don't do stuff like that makes him big and heavy and powerful and scary because of it. And picking some dude up by his leg or whatever, and then just whipping somebody with that dude, that's a shtick that to me will never die. It's such a good shtick.
It's so good. And we get another great moment like that later too. I'm really excited to get to. And for some reason we get a really creepy close-up of Thundarr's face. I'm all, like, what? It's like up his nose, so they had to draw like nostrils and stuff. I'm like, what? I'm like, what?
Where's your septum?
Yeah, I don't know if they were going to use that later for like a transition or something, but I was just like, okay. A little creepy.
Way to go, Skeletor.
Oh, and then there's a great line that Thundarr says to Zevon. He's like, your hide will keep me warm. Indicating that he's going to skin this dude and wear him as a coat.
Golf clap.
Wow.
See, that's where his previous outfit is from. It's like the werewolf we saw in the intro, and there you go.
Okay. Yeah. Your hide will keep me warm. Jeez, getting a little dark there, Thundarr.
Keep me warm.
Oh man, good stuff. So, Ariel's fighting. We got Thundarr fighting the bad guy. Ookla's hitting dudes with other dudes, and we finally get Thundarr captured and an attempt to turn him into a werewolf. It gets broken up about halfway through, so it's not successful.
You think he would have known werewolves who just came out of nowhere?
They just flanked him, just like velociraptors.
Clever wolves.
Clever girl.
Now, he's chasing him. He feels ill. He goes down. And this is the moment I should have said the Superman Thundarr thing. I got all excited because when I was a little kid, it freaked me out. I was like, oh crap! You know, those like that little kid, like, you know, everything in the world is the cartoon I'm watching.
Yeah.
Oh crap, Thundarr, no! And he's like on the ground and he looks up and he makes a really solid looking werewolf.
He does. His design is really, really good.
And I was sitting there going like, if I ever had a choice to make my own fighting game character and I could have whoever I wanted, I'd have a short list. And on it is Werewolf Thundarr the Barbarian.
Yes.
This is bad looking. He is so scary.
Because they even took a second to light, because most of this is all lit, just flat lighting. There's no shadows on characters, no obviously budget and all that stuff. Cartoons get shadows when they get a movie. I noticed that. So, but we do get a
moment.
Yeah. So we do get a quick shot when Thundarr's not feeling good. He kind of hunches over a little bit, and Ariel comes up to him, and you know, they put a little bit of a shadow on him to give him like some dramatic effect. I thought that was kind of nice. Just that quick. It was a static shot, but it was just that nice little extra in there just to kind of give it some mood. I thought that was kind of nice. Yeah.
And plus its layout is nice because it's like a horror movie shot.
It really is. It really is. You got like moonlight coming down and highlighting him, and then you got some nice negative space next to him for Ariel to come up, and it's just like, what's going on?
It's like she's framing the werewolf looking up at her.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just a great shot. So like, you see what I mean when I was a little kid when I went, oh!
Oh boy! Oh man, he's still got his sun sword, and it's just like leaps right on Ariel, and it's just like that'd be kind of freaky to a kid. I mean, like, what are you gonna do? It's your friend, but at the same time, he's trying to eat you.
and so he's on Ariel. Ariel shoves him off. He goes after Ookla. Ookla grabs him and basically throws him off, and then they start tussling a little bit, and Ariel's freaking out, and finally Thundarr backs. I'm serious. He has the sun sword out, and he looks around with that werewolf face. I'm sorry. This is just a great design.
It's a good design.
It's a great design.
I do like that. So Thundarr is on top of Ariel as a werewolf, and they're fighting. Ookla wastes no time shooting Thundarr with an arrow.
Yep.
He's like, I don't care who it is. He's like, I'm taking him out.
Hurt my buddy.
It's like, yeah, I'm hanging out with these 2 other people, and I will save them when I can. But I have no emotional attachment to these people either. If they go rogue, they're going down.
I don't know, man. He's about to turn, and if he turns, he's no longer my brother.
Exactly. Oh, you're a werewolf now? Sorry, buddy.
He's a vampire. He's a zombie. He's a mummy. I don't know what's another one. He's a Frankenstein. I guess he can't turn into a Frankenstein when bitten. But he turns into a Frankenstein. He no longer my brother.
Sorry, brother. You're no longer my brother. Oh man, just some good stuff going on here. I just love it.
Now, Laschita brought this up last night. And this is an important point. After they shove Werdarr off of them, and Werdarr goes running off, he jumps off of like a berm or something and lands on his horse.
Yeah,
his horses have seen so much stuff that his horse doesn't even register how weird it is that Thundarr the werewolf just jumped on it. Was just like, oh, hey Thundarr, I see you're a werewolf today, and they just go riding off.
I just imagine the horse just turn around and look and be like, oh, we're doing this now? Okay.
At least Thundarr's not a mummy.
The horse is like, whatever, bro.
I draw the line at mummy.
Just another Tuesday. Here we go.
And of course the horse is like, hey, he smells better.
Yes, you got some fresh fur.
It's either that or he just never looked around and just went, yep, that's Thundarr's fuzzy butt, and just rides right off. Doesn't even notice.
No, it's like, we're doing this now. Okay. Fuzzy legs must be Ookla. So they chase after Werdarr, and it's so good, Werdarr, and they chase him. And keep in mind, we're still at the Capitol, so they chase him up a fallen down Washington Monument. Yes. It's Washington Monument, I believe, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And they chase him to the end. He falls into, I can't remember what the pool is there. There's like that big.
It's the
that big water.
It's the memorial pool.
It has a name.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't remember what that's called.
I saw it once as a kid. And by the way, have you ever actually been there?
No, I haven't.
Okay. What a lot of people don't realize is this thing is not like an Olympic swimming pool. It's like 12 inches deep. It's not deep at all. So there's this great night shot is they're riding their horses up the monument, and there's the cracked moon in the background, and they just go basically right off the end.
They don't even start, just
He looks down and there's the pool and the rock, and then Ookla's just like, and they just go right through the air. Like, so they fall through the air, and the horses are like, it's a Tuesday. Hang out.
It's a Tuesday.
And they go right into the water, which if this was the real thing, they would have died because it was like 12 inches deep.
Yeah. Well, I mean, figure rain, and I don't know how they keep it only 12 inches deep because of rain and stuff like that. They must have some kind of
it
spill off.
Structurally isn't very deep. It's just not very deep. It's not a deep pool.
It is the memorial reflecting pool.
Thank you, reflecting.
Oh, okay. There we go.
That's right. Okay, so they go down into the water, and this is what I love, because this just adds like wonderful mythology to the world. They get up, Ookla shakes his head off, Werdarr comes up, he's kind of sputtering and stuff, and Ookla holds Werdarr, and there's bubbling and stuff, and the reflecting pool cures Thundarr of his werewolfism. It's just what is in this water?
I don't know what's been cooking in there for 2,000 years, but hey, they should bottle that,
So it's like the reflecting pool in Washington, D.C. eventually becomes like a holy site with magical water. I dig this. I'm completely good with this.
It's totally fine. Like I almost anticipated like Ookla to turn into a human too. Like what if it's a pool? It just turns whatever you are turns you into a human. Like just like Ookla just turns into like some emo dude.
It's like the anti Ranma half pool.
Yes. Perfect.
Nice.
Oh man. So Thundarr's cured, at least, you know. At first I was like, well, is this temporary or whatever? But no, he's cured. Mm-hmm. And so okay, we have to go after the werewolves. The werewolves are going after Infernus without Thundarr, which I thought was kind of weird because that was the whole point at the beginning. And I just love that they finally get there. And his stronghold is like suspended over an active volcano pit.
Not only that, but it's like has like robot legs in the lava.
Yeah.
In like a swooping suspension bridge. And this is the moment that I want. This is the moment why I want to see this as like a live action or like some beautifully animated movie, because in the lava fortress.
Before we go, they did the sweeping shot of the fortress, how did they get in? Where are they going?
There's a bridge there.
Yeah, there's a bridge, but the bridge goes behind where the actual opening is. It goes below, and it's like a back door that they're going around or something.
That's down there. That's how you get to the sauna and hot and then you take some stairs up into the magical Infernus city of the robot battle fortress in the lava.
Oh, my bad. Okay, see, I wasn't even paying attention to that.
You're actually you're not using the front entrance of the house. You're going in through the garage.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Take your shoes off before you come in.
Keep in mind that Infernus has his flying sled, so the front entranceway, which is what you're pretty much seeing here, is only accessible via flying sled because it's Infernus's, you know,
right.
It's his digs.
Okay. Right.
Now this is why I want to see like this as a movie.
I know exactly where you're going. I know exactly where you're going.
This is the only time I get to see a medieval castle made of stone and wood inside of a robot fortress. I don't get that.
In an active volcano.
With an army of werewolves fighting an army of like 1950s cycloptic cheese robots with like clamps and lasers shooting out of their faces.
Oh, it was so good. As soon as I saw that, I had to pause it because I was just like, I was swooning. I was literally swooning at this part.
Am I the only person that wishes that they would have given this battle like at least another minute of madcap werewolf robot battle mayhem?
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen like some close-up quick shots or something just to get some more detail with the robots and oh my god! But it's just so good because the shot you get is like you said, it's like a sweeping shot over the floor, and there's just werewolves jumping on the back of robots and robot parts on the ground, and there's like 3 werewolves like beating up one of them, and oh my god, it's so good.
It's in the background, and I'm pausing it. One werewolf has an axe. And he, like wood, is just chopping repeatedly one of the robots on the ground. And another one's next to him watching going, and I'm filling in the blank here a little bit. He's going like, get him, dude! Get him, dude! And he's just like, ah! Bang, bang, bang.
I'm telling you, man, it was like, in the writer's room, there was like a bunch of dudes just hotboxing themselves. They're just like, you know what's going to be great? Werewolves fighting robots.
And as the screen is panning across what little mayhem we get, in the bottom, there's one werewolf with his arm around a robot's head, holding the robot, and another werewolf is just doing the whole like bully, like playground thug. Boom, 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 boom. It's just beating this robot. And I'm just going like, why has stuff like this stopped being made? I'm not saying everything should be this.
Right.
I'm saying that this I love this.
It's so fun. Like I wanted to see when I'm just like pulling up the underwear of a robot. Just
I did want to see one shot of the robots really blazing a guy though, because I feel they missed out on one thing. The robots are all kind of clunky and chunky, and that's fine because they have like these. They look like they have powerful like cycloptic eye lasers.
Yeah.
I would have liked to have seen one werewolf just running, and like 2 or 3 robots just go. And just burn one werewolf and burst into flames and have him off the edge of the screen, and then have like 9 werewolves just jump the 3 robots, just start kicking them.
To be fair, there is a couple of shots where the robots are like blasting them with lasers, and they're going down hard.
No, I fully get it, but I want to do like the video game shot where you get the beam weapon in video games. Yep. Whee! And like the beam follows a guy.
Yeah.
I wanted that just for like a second and a half, like 2 or 3 robots just going like him, and
it just incinerates the guy. Oh man!
Regardless of what we would like to see, this quick shot is so good.
It is so good.
That was the money shot right there.
That was the money shot for me too. I was just like, oh, like I said, I was swooning. With a capital S.
It came out of nowhere at that. It's just like because you're seeing all the action going on, and all of a sudden out of nowhere, robot will fight. It's like holy
crap! I really don't think you could have picked another thug type for Infernus to have made this any better. You could have been like, what is it like? European Knights, or I don't know, zombie American Marines with like machine guns, or any number of crazy things, and none of them was as good as these clunky cycloptic 1950s robots just duking it out with werewolves. I mean, it's just so good.
Oh man, yeah, I just love this part. This whole fighting in the castle was just really great. We get a great shot of Zivan just tossing one of the robots off the edge, and then he goes to attack Infernus. So we've got Furnace and Zivan Werewolf Master like fighting each other, and Thundarr comes in and is just like, oh, well, I should save the wizard, right? Because they're coming, they're trespassing. He's just minding his own business in his castle, right? So all right, I'm gonna save the wizard. knocks out the werewolf, takes the wizard, and he grabs a curtain and just swings away into like a little safe room. And unfortunately for Thundarr,
I can't believe I'm saving a wizard.
I can't believe I'm saving you. And then of course he turns on him. He turns on the 3, and traps him there. I don't know, man. I would have just been like Godzilla versus Kong. Let them fight. Like at this point, it's like it's kind of a win-win situation at this point. I would have just let them go.
I mean, Zivan in his little like lollipop wand and crap that he has. It's like sci-fi lollipop. It's like a ring pop on a long stick. Honestly, like they found a ring pop, and that's where he channels his power from.
Yeah.
What I love is the sheer douche level of Infernus, right? like Thundarr comes in and saves him from the werewolf army, gets him into a room, and you're right, he turns on him. That's not the only thing he does. He just goes like, oh, by the way, I'm turning on you. And then he goes, Infernus! And then they go down, and he's like, I'm sinking my whole fortress to kill everybody. And he has, by the way, because, everyone has it, he has a large lever for just sinking his entire fortress.
Oh, of course. I mean, that's just his escape plan right there.
He's just going like, I'll just start elsewhere, because it'll be fun. And then he's just like, Infernus out!
Oh, man. Yeah, he just traps them there, cuffs them to the floor, and then I'm just gonna sink my entire fortress into the lava pit, and then he's out of here. I mean, kudos to him. I mean, Hey, maybe it took him 5 minutes to make that. He's a wizard. Who knows?
Well, I mean, he is the villain. We can't blame him. I mean, his first thought was this stupid hero. Ha, 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 ha. I have a lever for this situation.
Right. So everybody leaves. The werewolves escape. Infernus escapes. Thundarr and them, they get themselves out of their jam, and they ride their horses and jump from rock to rock through the lava to get out, which I thought was I don't know, it was pretty good.
It was decent.
Again, the horses were just kind of hanging out there, and the horses are just like, you know what?
It's Tuesday.
Yeah,
it's Tuesday.
Thundarr and crew and their wacky shenanigans.
Well, they didn't know how to get out, and I know Ariel has casted bridges several times, so I'm not sure why that wasn't a thing. But yeah, it is. Again, that might be one of her times where she's like, I'm going to conserve my energy if she needs to, and let these guys figure it out. And it's like, okay, we can just ride.
Sure.
Ride our horses. No big deal.
It was a dose of plutonium,
and because we are all fans of the fact that this takes place at real locations in the world.
Yes.
Final conflict is in the Smithsonian Institute.
Yes.
I mean, honestly, God, I am so jealous that I did not come up with this stuff, because this is so simple, but so fabulous. Werewolves versus Thundarr and the Thundarr friends in the Smithsonian Institute.
And we still have to deal with Infernus, because everybody's at the museum. We got the werewolves, we got Infernus, we got Thundarr and the gang, and Zivan is finally successful in transforming Infernus into a were-wizard.
Yes.
And I love it. I love it. He was successful in his plan, finally.
Well, and here's the great part is I kind of like Infernus's outfit. The leg thing is kind of funny to me. The helmet's awesome. Yeah. I like his outfit.
It's reverse Thundarr outfit.
It's like reverse Thundarr.
Reverse Thundarr.
But when he's turned into a werewolf, the awesomeness of his outfit, it just works for me completely. Mm-hmm. He's a were-wizard, and the helmet comes off, and he's got the werewolf head, and with all the fur and stuff, I'm like,
yep.
It's like a phoenix bursting from the Infernus
from the flames. I was getting Teen Wolf vibes a little bit from the head design, because they don't have these werewolves, they don't have the long snout. Mm-hmm. Like a lot of horror movie werewolves have. These are more humanoid, as opposed to werewolfoid.
Well, it's
werewolfoid.
It's more,
so they got the flatter faces.
It's more a universal monster werewolf.
It's like the old black and white werewolf.
Yeah, and I love that. I love that it's just we're gonna give him a little nose and some teeth and a little bit of jowls, a little bit, but not the long wolf snout. Yeah, exactly. So we get some more duking it out. Ariel's throwing her little spirit balls, pew 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 pew, and here's my second swoon. So, as we mentioned earlier, and we mentioned in other episodes, Ukla loves to hit other dudes with a dude. Just grabbing a dude and hitting dudes with another dude. He really upped his game in the in this finale here. So we're in the Smithsonian, right? What's in the Smithsonian? We got lots of stuff in the Smithsonian.
Airplanes and airplanes and
dinosaurs, airplanes, armor, outfits. And then I don't know how to get to this. I just got to say it, man. Just Ukla just beating up werewolves with a whale,
with a blue whale.
He's in the Natural History Museum part, and what I love is the zoom in. There's Ukla, and behind him, hanging up above him, is an entire whale hanging off the ceiling. And it's this great shot of what's going to happen, kids.
You could just tell, because you can always tell, especially with the older animation, when the background is like a painted background and the animation cells are like that brighter, more vibrant color. You can always tell when something is either gonna move or something like that.
Yep.
And that whale, I saw that whale and I was like, that whale. That looks pretty suspicious. I'm like, he's got to be chucking that. And sure enough, scale's not quite right, obviously, but it's just so good. It's just so good. Just
what's really funny is that should technically either be a model of a whale or that should be a stuffed whale. But when Ookla picks it up, it's all bendy-wendy like a real whale.
Yeah.
He's got it by the tail, and he just whips all this blubber right at these dudes. And back!
It's just so good. Oh, man. I have no words. That was my second swoon. I just loved that.
Loved that. Aerial detail is as Ookla is wailing on these guys.
Thank you.
And
yes.
And Ariel had been blasting dudes with her smack spheres. And she's just standing there looking hot, which is awesome. And behind her is like an energy jail, and there's all these werewolves in a pile. Yes. And it goes over to Thundarr, and Thundarr just got a werewolf, and he just grabs him, and he throws the werewolf, and then it goes back to Ariel looking hot, like Vanna White. That's what's really funny about it. And Thundarr's like, I want to buy a vowel. He basically goes, we have a vowel. It's an A, and a hole opens up, and it's just like Wheel of Fortune. It's so funny. The hole opens up in the web, and the werewolf goes flying right through the hole, and then the hole closes, and she puts her hand on her hip and looks at the camera like Vanna White.
Yeah,
and I'm just going like, she has no concern in this situation at all. Thundarr's like, Vanna. So we go from a serious wailing sequence to essentially Wheel of Butt Kicks and Vanna White, which might be more like Violence White, but
I love that. She just because she was standing at an angle, kind of like looking down the hallway towards Thundarr, and you're right, just for like 2 frames, maybe, and she just after the werewolf goes into the cage, she just turns straight to the camera, hand on hip, and just like, I did that.
I think, and I get why a lot of people are ticked off at like super sexy portrayals of women and stuff, because some comic books just made like these characters that were like all boob and beauty, and they're all posing, but they don't do much in the story.
Yeah.
Ariel is just like always like hot and sexy, but she's like one of the most powerful things there, and she's super smart and she's funny. So there's this funny moment where she kind of just goes hand on hip and looks at the camera like, yep, I did that. And she's like looking all hot, doing like there's werewolves just 2 feet from her, can't even get to her. She's like, yep, I'm doing it right. I love her so much. Oh my god.
Oh man, she gets some such great moments. I just love it. I just like how each of the 3 has like almost in every episode they have like their specific moments. Ookla, beating dudes with other dudes. We get those. Those are great. We get Thundarr. He gets his smart moments every once in a while, and those are great. And then we get Ariel just getting her sass every once in a while. It's just awesome. It's just great. So our final confrontation here between Thundarr, Zevon, and Were-Wizard. I just like, so we're still in the museum, and of course there's dinosaur skeletons, and we got to see a dinosaur skeleton come to life from Were-Wizard. So he turns like a giant brontosaurus or something to life, and I just love it. It's just like, it's not even an inconvenience for Thundarr, like at all. He's like, I've got this, and he just jumps on the back and cuts its head off with his sun sword. He's like, it's a Tuesday. Oh man.
What was that we said last night? You said something about like Thundarr screaming, "I learned this in Boy Scouts" or something. And for some bizarre reason, I thought honestly that Aric was going to say, "I learned this in Bone School."
It's the whole thing. He's up on there and he climbs up on the living skeleton.
My brain was so
and we were both kind of tired because we were watching it, and he just goes, and we were just sort of making fun of the fact that it's Thundarr hacking off the head, like he knows how to handle this. And
right.
when she said that, I was like, okay, now I just see the scene. He gets up on the neck of the bone creature, and he's going to hack that up. I learned this in Bone School, and then he decapitates the skeleton's head. I mean, clearly he didn't say that, but I wanted some goofy line here because it's good. It's good. Yeah. Goofy. There's werewolves nearby. He's riding a skeleton. He hacks the skeleton's head off. I wanted an Arnold Schwarzenegger line, like where he says something kind of stupid, but it's also kind of awesome because he said something kind of stupid.
Thundarr makes no puns. That is one rule.
That's it exactly. Yeah. He will never do an Arnold Schwarzenegger line. He'll never pull it
right. At least not on purpose, I would say, because I loved the part earlier where he's like, demon dogs. And it's like, yeah. But he's already been saying that, so it's not like he's
too sincere of a character to pull a line like that,
Right. He's very, straightforward with everything. That's what I like about him.
we were at Stupid O'Clock last night, and we were giggling at everything, and Laschita was like, I learned this in Bone School. And I just couldn't stop giggling. I'm going like, oh God, I want to see Thundarr say that. It's not what he would ever say. He'd never say that. It's so funny. I learned this in Bone School.
Bone School. Oh, good stuff. So after the werewolves just got bone schooled by the dinosaur. Oh wait, no, that's not what happens. So yeah, Thundarr takes out the dinosaur, dinosaur skeleton, and I love this because we've had this before where the wizard shoots like a flaming ball at Thundarr, and he catches it with his sun sword.
Yeah, what the heck?
And it just kind of sticks to the sun sword for a second, and he just kind of, just whips it back at him and knocks out both Zevan and Infernus together. Boom. Cut, print.
The worst,
end of story. That was pretty good.
and here is a really solid Thundarr victory shot. It's not the best, but it's good. There's the bones from the bone creature that he took.
Yeah.
And so there's ribs everywhere, and there's a pelvis, and there's the head werewolf, and he's just crumpled amongst all the ribs, and at his feet is the were-wizard completely out, and Thundarr's just standing there with the sun sword. And I'm kind of going like, there's a number of screenshots that I would have a mural on my wall from this series, and by the way, I want to have a mural from some of the opening shots of this series painted on my wall.
I would love some high screen, some high res scans of some of that stuff. Yes.
Yeah, but I want a whole wall in my house to be like a mural.
Oh, absolutely.
Would that not be amazing? But this would be one of those shots where you're like, I want this in my bathroom. You're sitting there, you're on the throne, you're doing your business, you look up, there's Thundarr's victory stands over the wizard with all the... This is just a great shot.
I would love if it was like framed in like an antique oak ornate wood frame, just like
an old Victorian kind of, like, oh yeah.
Chef's kiss. Now I'm looking at this shot that you're talking about, and if you look really close, Zevan, they kind of mixed up his mouth a little bit. They forgot to keep that a little werewolfy there, so he's got a human mouth with werewolf beard, and the rest of him is still wolfed out. But just his lips and a little bit of underneath his lips is skin.
Now, here's an argument against my toupee theory, because if it was a toupee, would it not be off angle with him being like in a cartoon and like
You think it would have been knocked off to the side just a little bit, but man, maybe it's stapled to his head. Who knows?
or it's just he's so stanky and dirty, and he's wearing it for so long it's just glued to his scalp at this point.
Well, that's why they got to give everybody a bath. Everybody gets a bath at the end of this episode.
And Thundarr's like, "You're all stanky. I'm giving you a wear bath."
That's the whole point of this show. Like, we don't mind werewolves. Y'all just stink. So it's time for a bath.
And so, because it's time for a bath, we go to the magical reflecting pool in the first shot, wear faucet. But the great thing is because I guess they wanted to paint her this way in this shot. She's sporting the Tom Selleck. She's just got this big mustache.
For no reason.
I don't know. I think it's kind of fun. You're just going like, hot chicks can have mustaches, I guess.
Yeah, why not?
She's a werewolf. Why not?
Yeah, exactly. No judgment. This is a judgment-free reflecting pool zone. I just love it. It's just it's so great. And it's like, I like that you see like the fangs, like the canine fangs, but no other teeth.
Yeah.
So she looks a little hillbilly right there. just a little bit.
Hillbillies can be hot. It just depends on people's tastes.
Yeah, it's all good.
I guess that would be called Hot Billy. I'm not sure.
Hot Billy.
I mean, I'm not usually into the not usually the hillbilly thing myself, but I
right.
Judge. It's not my business.
So we've thrown everybody in the reflecting pool, and everybody's turning human. Infernus like kind of gets on the edge of the pool and turns human, and we see that he's like a balding older guy. He doesn't have his helmet on because that came off when he wolfed out. Can curse you, Thundarr, But we get a nice little twist here, which I don't think I've ever seen before. I was trying to think of any place that I've seen a transformation like this. So Zivan, the leader of the werewolves, comes out of the pool, and he's still a little wolfed out. And he gets out, and instead of turning human, he turns into a wolf. Mm-hmm. And I thought that was really, really cool. That was a good twist. I really liked that because, like, I didn't see that coming from a mile away.
And now this is not me knowing. This is me trying to remember. I could have sworn that when I was much younger, I read read about some older werewolf mythology that the original one is supposed to be a wolf. Oh. But I could be mistaken. I do. We have to look this up. Do not take my word for it, but there's something about this. I feel as if I've seen this before. Like if you look into maybe it's old folklore or werewolf mythology, or it's Aric just screwing stuff up. But I feel that this might actually be like part of a real actual thing, like the original like wolf, like somebody got bitten by the original wolf and then they were cursed and became the second werewolf. Or I don't.
What if it was a wolf that was bitten by a human?
That's great.
That had some issues going on. Maybe he wasn't feeling too good, and then the wolf turned into a werewolf, and then at that point bites people and turns them into werewolves. Dude, I don't know.
Let's get a step further. He got bit by the first human. That wolf turned into a were-human.
Okay.
Which would to us look like a werewolf, and then he bites the first, then human, and then that human becomes a werewolf.
Imagine. Okay. So you have this wolf gets bit by a dude. The wolf turns into a human, gets a job, buys some land, gets married, has some kids. Just the complete opposite of everything. It's so good.
It becomes like a notary public, He just goes in, he's I don't know, he serves the local government. And maybe he's
Every full moon, he breaks out the calculator.
Becomes completely normal. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh, so this was just a great episode. I think this is probably number 2 on my list at this point. This was episode 7, Brotherhood of Night. Oh my gosh, just as werewolves, man. I mean, you can't go wrong with it. That's like, gosh, I love it. Underneath Frankenstein, because Frankenstein is my favorite, like, classic monster.
Sure.
The Wolfman is second. Underneath that, I just love. Well, I don't know. I guess between Frankenstein and Dracula, like, those two guys are like my top 2. But like the Wolfman, yeah, I love me some werewolf action. Anything werewolf related, I just love it. Teen Wolf, freaking love that. The old Howling movies, those are just so great. But yeah, this was so much good stuff.
See, the problem with the last couple decades is, and I'm not saying it's a deep problem, like it's a shame. It's just like, no, to me, it was sort of an issue. Vampires are decent. But we've had so many vampires that I'm just like, I mean, outside of JoJo's Bizarre Adventures, which has vampires in it, but they're crazy, over-the-top, ridiculous vampires. Those are like the only vampires I like anymore.
Yeah.
You know? And zombies. I grew up loving zombies, but we've done zombies to death at this point. And again, like, the only ones I like left are either the original, like, Night of movies, or like, again, JoJo's, where the zombies in it are so goofy and crazy that they're not really zombies, they're crazy things.
Right.
And I am right with you. You know, werewolves are great. I love werewolves. That's why I jokingly say Frankenstein's, because I personally think that there's so much that can be done with bodies being sewn back together and creating out of it.
Oh yeah.
And I've got it's not even in the works. It's I will work on it. I have a series I want to do where it's got mummies as the main thing, but it's like space mummies. I love mummies because everyone thinks Egyptian mummies, but the fact is you go back in old black and white horror movies, there were also Amazon, or I'm sorry, Aztec mummies, and so it's like the general idea of mummies are great because you bring in ancient cultures with it. Like, there's so much fun stuff with all these other monster types, you know, that I'm just like, whenever they bring stuff like that in, I'm like, ooh.
Exactly.
Vampires are fine. Like, there's nothing wrong with them, but it's also like, I'm tired of it.
Yeah, they've been done.
Yeah. Zombies are amazing, except that we've done them again to death. It's just like, unless you do something neat with. But then you're right. Werewolves is just like, dude, you have so much fun with that. It bites a dude and makes another dude.
Yes.
And then so it's sort of like zombies, but they're still alive. And we have to go and kill the original werewolf. And you know, but they have
I love that trope too. Yep.
They have the advantage above zombies being they have personality. They still have personality. They're just vicious, feral, crazy people. You know?
I'm still a wizard, but I'm just furry.
But I'm a feral wizard. You know?
Speaking of mummies, if this is your first time listening to the podcast, make sure and go check out our Halloween episode from last year, where we talked about a great episode of Mummies Alive, a great 90s cartoon. Make sure to check that out. That one was a lot of fun.
I don't know if I'd use the word great 90s cartoon.
It was great. It was super great, you guys.
Unique. I would use the word unique.
Unique? Okay. Yeah, I like that. We'll go with unique. I like that.
All right. Now, I'm geeked. This was a good one. And I'm not going to say the next episode is the best episode. I'm not going to say that. That's not right. I'm not going to say what's in it. But what I'm going to say is the next episode is one of the episodes that I had specifically remembered ever since I was a kid.
Oh, okay.
But it's one of the episodes I always associate with Thundarr the Barbarian.
Oh, okay.
Challenge of the Wizards.
Episode 8, Challenge of the Wizards. Yes.
I will not say what it is because I don't want to ruin it for you personally, and I don't want to ruin it for any of our audience members. But I am looking forward to this episode.
Well, that makes me excited for it because, like, and again, for the audience, like, Aric and Laschita, you know, they're remembering these episodes a lot more than I am, because I remember watching Thundarr as a kid, but I completely blanked like on all the episodes. So I'm watching these almost like I've never seen them before. So when an episode comes up, like I'm watching it fresh, like the day before we record. But like seeing you getting excited and being like, oh, dude, next episode, oh my gosh, it's going to be awesome. Then, of course, I'm going to get excited.
Because I actually am like a Thundarr nerd. You know those nerds that own like the DVD sets of the cartoons and play them all the time?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm one of those guys. and years and years before we did this, I picked up the DVD collection of Thundarr, and it was one of the things I always played because I just love it.
Yeah.
And right when we did this, the Blu-ray set comes out, so now I'm just like, I'm making myself not watch Thundarr. And I haven't watched most of my Blu-ray collection because I'm like, so when we do this, I'm like, I get to watch a Blu-ray episode of this episode. I've never seen it before on Blu-ray. Woo! And I get all excited.
Oh, I love it. Oh, I love it. They're just so good, and so excited to talk about these. But with that, any final words on this episode, guys?
I am glad you enjoyed this one.
Oh, I did so much. Oh, so good. Sexy werewolves. I mean, you can't go wrong with that.
Oh, werewolf robot battle. That does it for. If anyone out there doesn't know, I love me old clunky robots. It's just one of my nerd triggers. Cheesy old sci-fi robots. Okay, fine. Anime mecha, that stuff is fun. I will never say it's not. But so few people get into the clunky American pulp sci-fi robots like I do.
Right.
And there's something about me imagining some dude in a box and tinfoil outfit with blinking like lights and like shooting cheesy old sci-fi. Oh my god, I love the robots in this one. I just wish we had more of it.
Oh, I would love a live action version of this episode. It would be so good.
You throw it out there. I'm going to say I want Pixar to 3D animate this last episode. I want Pixar.
You heard us, Pixar. Get on that.
You're falling behind on my needs.
On my individual needs. Get on that, please.
My personal needs. And the reason why I say Pixar is because I want to see what Pixar would do with Thundarr the Barbarian. Can you imagine how weird that would be?
It would be weird, but it would be good. It would be good. All right. Well, that's going to do it for this episode, guys. Again, my name is Jay with Retropop Gaming. I stream every Tuesday or Wednesday and Saturdays on my YouTube channel. And I'm also on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook. And you guys want to go out with your plugs?
We are Aric and Laschita Whalen from Super Secret Project X. We would make a bigger deal about our stuff, but we are in process of getting stuff done, which is just taking freaking forever. I know, but we keep getting closer and closer, and we'll brag more about it like later.
Sounds good.
I can do it the most.
Sounds good, man. Alrighty. This is a great episode. I can't wait to talk about Challenge of the Wizards next time. Yep. Have a good night, everybody. We'll see you.